Hello, everybody. This Monday, the 10th of August, this is Chaplain Dan, and I am privileged to talk to you today. I want to focus these devotions this week, these conversations with Chaplain Dan, on a question that was asked me by a resident recently. I was having a nice conversation with them, and a question came up. Um, Chaplain, what do I do? I get so frustrated. What do I do when I come up short? And this resident, I'm not going to tell you whether it was a man or a woman, looked me straight in the eye and said, "You need to help me with this. What does the Bible say about this?" Well, I've been reflecting on that. In fact, the other day I was in a medical office here in Georgetown and got there 5 minutes late for an appointment. The person at the desk said, "Well, I'm sorry, we're running a strict schedule. You're 5 minutes late. You're going to have to reschedule." And I thought to myself, I didn't say anything. I thought to myself, what in the world is she doing? I've come all this way. I've had somebody bring me. I can't travel by myself. What is she doing? 5 minutes. And yet, sometimes, maybe all of us just come up short in what we're doing. I'd like to give you a perspective from the book of Romans, Paul's letter to the Christians, the believers in Rome. They weren't necessarily by that time called Christians, they were followers of the way. Some were Jews in background, some were Gentiles in background. And the two camps used to fuss a little bit, come up short with their patience with each other. And yet they all had accepted the way of Jesus. How could they gain patience? How could I have gained better patience with the young woman in the doctor's office? How could the resident I spoke to, maybe how could you gain patience with the circumstances of our days? Let me read from Romans what the Apostle Paul, the mature, older Apostle Paul, after he'd been around the then known Mediterranean basin, founding churches of the way, Jewish converts as well as Gentile converts, Greeks, Romans. This is what Paul wrote in the 4th chapter of Romans. The first 3 verses say it powerfully. I share it with you. What then shall we say? That Abraham, our forefather, according to the flesh, discovered in this manner. In other words, Abraham, the father in the story of the covenant with God, the father of many nations he was promised to be. What did Abraham discover when he was growing old and had no children? And yet God had told him he was going to be the father of many. He must have gotten frustrated. But if in fact Abraham was justified by works, Paul writes, he would have something or nothing to boast about to people, but not to God. Interesting. What does the scripture say about this father of us in our faith, Father Abraham? It says Abraham believed. This is Paul now recounting to his flock in Rome. Abraham believed. Abraham believed in God's promise, and it was credited to him as righteousness. Not because he had always done right, he hadn't. And not because he had fathered many children by the ripe old age in which Paul cites him. He had no children. But what he did have was that he believed in God. And he held to that. And because of that, even when it looked like he was coming up short in kingdom building, fatherhood of many nations, he was judged as still righteous. We can be judged righteous, faithful, peaceful with God, not because of what good we do, but because of how we believe. In this pandemic, or when we face a person at a counter like I did who's not telling me what I want to hear, we get frustrated. What do we do when we come up short of patience? Believe in God. Take a breath. We are righteous by faith. Need some patience? Try those first 3 verses of the 4th chapter of Romans. Have a blessed rest of your Monday, and I'll be with you tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more about Father Abraham. It helps us when we come up short in our lives. God bless you.